Welcome to another edition of a Brobdingnagian Minute. How long is a Brobdingnagian Minute? Well, it's about as long as a crazy road trip around the summer to get away from the heat. Oh my God, it's hot!
These are some of my favorite things. I want a list of all the little crazy intros you do for Brobdingnagian Minute.
And honestly, that one was right off the top of my head.
I know it was.
I didn't plan that at all.
Welcome to the Brobdingnagian Bards podcast. I am Marc Gunn.
And I am Andrew McKee.
And we want to start, before we get started, we want to thank all of our Nagians who finance this podcast and our music through your generosity and support over on Patreon. You can sign up to our individual Patreon pages and get access to behind-the-scenes Brobdingnagian Bards exclusive content. And you'll get extended versions of this podcast. In fact, we just finished recording that. And bootleg concerts, videos, and first access to new songs as they come out. Whenever something comes new, we will be posting it, sharing our Bard stuff.
I really think we need a Patreon theme song. I'm just saying. It just feels like the way you introduced that. You just need kind of like a, I mean, it can't be wrong. Welcome to Patreon or something. I don't know.
We should do it. We need to do this. Maybe we'll work on that for next time. Okay.
Yeah. Just some sort of a.
I'm going to totally make it. I'm making a note just to warn you. A Patreon theme song.
Right. Okay. Just some sort of like a little.
But just so that you know that when you start regretting it, you know that you started this.
It could just be a simple, one-line thing, with and thanks for joining us on Patreon. Patreon, or so it could be something simple like that.
You can support Andrew McKee at patreon.com/Irish Bard.
And support Marc Gunn at patreon.com/Celtfather. That's Celt with a C, not a K. Don't make that mistake.
I did that once. No, I didn't really. Upcoming shows. This has been a weird, my shows for the fall are just kind of a little bit weird. I had a whole bunch of brewery shows last year and less so right now. However, that said, I am playing at Ironshield Brewing on October 3rd. I have a Bandcamp concert on October 19th. Multiverse, October 20th through 22nd. The Lost Druid Brewery on November 4th. Conjuration on November 17th through 19th. And I'm the Nerdy Noel that I mentioned. That's on December 10th. But I'm also doing, I mentioned the whole Nerdy Noel during the patron-only section, but I'm putting on a Nerdy Wonderland holiday market that's going to happen at the Lost Druid Brewery. I'm doing it with Amanda Carmen, Andrew. So we are organizing this event for November 3rd, or December 3rd.
Now, be honest. Are you going to be walking in a nerdy wonderland?
No, but now it's a song. Let me write that down. But I am looking forward to it. I've been wanting some sort of holiday event, a show or something for, my entire career, musical career. I've been wanting something at the holiday times and nothing, never could put anything together that worked. And so I'm excited to see if this will. So,
well, I do think we kind of, part of it is when we first started playing music, we always took that holiday off. I mean, Christmas was always the vacation because you would go out of the country every year, as I recall.
So what you're saying is you're blaming me for that. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, pretty much. I got in the habit too. I mean, over Christmas, I've always looked at it as Christmas and New Year's was, okay, we're off. And I would, I'd always take it as, that's when I do some research, go visit family, do all this stuff. That was the time off. And it's developed a habit where I look at that as my off season. And I think it's been a mistake. I need to go this route too. And
you should look into this.
Yeah.
I really like the idea because again, it's for those who didn't hear the Patreon version, the Nerdy Noel is basically a holiday market of nerdy goods. It's like going to a vendor room at a science fiction convention. You find the gift items that you want that are for the geeks and nerds in your life. And that's what I love about this whole idea is I love that it's a little bit different. It it's unique items. And of course, then, I get to go play music as well. But mostly I love the idea of having something that's going to bring people out, in a free environment, So yeah, I'm really excited about this. So we'll see how it works out. I will let you know, but yes, but as we've talked about, we didn't do many, and I've started wondering, should I have? Because all of a sudden December income starts dropping. I don't know about you.
Oh yeah.
Which, you still have a Louisiana Ren Fair, which you'll mention in a moment, but which goes into December. But for me, I don't have that right now. So it's like my income takes a dive, and I need to fix that. So.
Yeah. Well, I mean, like I said, we'd always, back when we were performing all the time, and right after Louisiana Ren Fairs, normally when it would happen, you'd go fly off to Italy or something, and fly off to Italy for Christmas. God, I hated you.
Yeah,
and
you should have. I'm glad I made you.
Very cool. And then I'd just be, I'd be like, well, I'm stuck at home for the next 3 or 4 weeks. Okay, what am I doing? Yeah. But, I'd work on projects, and that's how I got into sound engineering. I spent some time working on that. But yeah, but you're right. It does. After the Louisiana Ren Fair, which I will be doing between November 4th and December 10th in the Louisiana. Yay. See how I got that in?
Yeah.
It was, yeah, it's if I remember correctly, what we always found was there was always a bit of a market for Christmas parties, but they were always like the beginning of December. But starting about December 10th or 12th, that's when the Christmas parties usually ceased. It was always interesting because, you'd naturally assume, it's a Christmas party, so it'd be right before Christmas. No, because, the companies would, they'd be out for Christmas, so they'd always have it in early December.
Yeah, so a lot of things die off, but I look at the Celtic bands that perform Christmas shows, and they usually start around then, or start at the beginning of December and go, for the next 2-3 weeks,
right.
Which is just, I feel like how it should be, but it's not,
no.
or at least it's not as easy to put together something that is specifically for that purpose, that where you get the people to come out and do that. I don't know. It's just, It was always a challenge. So now you are back at Louisiana Ren Fair. So you got any plans or special plans for the fair? I'm
definitely going to be there. That's happening.
I guess I'm thinking more about the fact that over the past few years we've been learning a lot about putting on shows and stuff. Are you doing stage shows, for instance?
No. Louisiana Ren Fair is an interesting fair for me because I don't do stage shows there. I just do lane work. I play in the lanes all day long. And I'll join in with other events that they have. I'll play music for some dancing that they might do, or I'll play at the pub sing at the end of the day, or play at opening gate in the morning while people are waiting to come in. I play all day long, so I do play a ton of music, but it's still, I don't do a stage. So it's a totally different dynamic. I'm a much better busker, and busking is that's what that means, just playing for tips in the lanes.
Yeah.
And I'm a much better busker because of it. It's good training. But that's what I do. It's very relaxing in a way.
Yeah, that's awesome.
I like it. And also I have to spend, see, this is the reverse Fargo. See, what I do is I go down to Louisiana in the winter. And it's so horrible. I've got to spend December in New Orleans. It's a tough life. It really is.
Yeah.
But no, it's a lovely, a lot of cool people there, and nice part of the country, and especially in that time of year. So it's nice.
Well, we got back from Dragon Con, which was 3 weeks ago now?
Yeah, I guess. Yeah, right.
Yeah. And
2.5. Yeah.
It was another fantastic convention. Why don't we talk about some of our, the things that we enjoyed, that you enjoyed? Well, one of the things that got me excited was, again, I mentioned this in the patron section, the musical pins. which we have a brand new musical pin. It says, a bard. What does it say? May the bard be with you. Right. May the bards be with you. So, right. Which you can now get in our store, at thebards.net/shop. That'll take you over there. But yeah, we started selling those for the first time. We learned a lot. Now, for those who don't know what a musical pin is basically a lapel pin or an enamel pin that has a certain theme or something themed to a specific album. In this case, it's themed to Brobdingnagian Fairy Tales. So you get a digital copy of Brobdingnagian Fairy Tales, plus you get the pin so you can wear your album on your sleeve, which I think is just a great way to showcase your music in a different format for the people who don't do CDs.
That's true. And you get the digital version you can download and listen to our music and have the pin together. So it's kind of the best of both worlds.
Yeah, and so I initially called them album pins for if you've been following us for a while. But we came up with Andrew came up with musical pins right before the Dragon Con, which I really like. It's tough switching, but I really like the idea because it's a little bit more intriguing, I think. Get you thinking about it, right?
Well, yeah, I think it also rings a little more true to what is included with it. I mean, it's not just a pin; it also has music.
Yeah, exactly.
So that's the idea.
But yeah, we started selling those this year, which had some ups and downs. I think the biggest one was the organization, because I haven't really thought about that. Yeah,
definitely gonna. We'll be talking more about that over the next several months to try to get that going. But there's a lot of interesting possibilities for that.
Yeah, trying to sell them because you do need to give them a digital download card and whatnot. So there's a lot of little things that we're working out for the live event. But you can get the pen, the musical pen, in our store. So go check that out. What about you, Andrew? What are some of your favorite things that happened at Dragon Con this year?
Wow. Let's see. I mean, of course, the Hobbit Drinking Songs show, always awesome. I mean. Yeah. They put us in a much larger room, which was nice. They gave us a mosh pit, which was bizarre.
Right, that was a little weird.
They had that huge open area right in front of the stage. I think somebody dropped the ball. I think they should have put some seating there, and it didn't happen.
I have this feeling that I don't know about you, but I feel like that's probably actually the same distance it was last year. Except we had a bigger, better shaped room. Right.
Right.
And here it just felt awkward. And so people ended up going up there and dancing, which
I remember there was a seating for 460.
It was 460.
It was 460. I counted and I got it confirmed. I'm that guy. And we could have easily fit. And I mean, if you didn't get there an hour early, you didn't get in.
Yeah.
So a lot of people got turned away because we should have had more seating, and we had enough room for another 200 minimum. So that was really a shame. I think somebody dropped the ball. I mean, I think somebody just didn't put the seating out, or maybe it wasn't even discussed, because I know that that room the day before didn't have seating there. Yeah. So I'm thinking some event wanted the seating gone and it never got brought back, or whatever.
I think someone just didn't think about it, and that's it happens.
Well, an event that big, I mean, a lot of those things happen.
It would have been nice if we could have had the seating a bit closer.
But it was still a fun event, and people got into it, and with the mosh pit, people just danced in front, and that was a little different. Yeah,
it turned into a Hobbit dance party.
I know, yeah, Hobbit dance party. Oh my God, we got to call it that. That is hilarious.
There's a CD, Hobbit dance party.
Right. Hobbit dance party, the remix version.
Right.
Oh my gosh. Okay. Anyway, no, that was a lot of fun. I mean, that is always a fun show, and and for me, my shows went great. And so the panels went fine, and I no complaints really, which, normally there's always some major issue. And no, it was a good, solid show, good show kind of thing. I was very pleased with that.
I think my favorite of of our shows together, though, was the evening show on Saturday, which was just a lot of fun.
The Rum Bucket Show.
The Rum Bucket Show. Whoa, man! So my wife buys me a rum bucket. She actually gave me a double shot too. She ordered for me. I don't know if she got you a double shot as well.
I don't think mine had that. No.
I hope not, because as you'll hear, so I got the rum bucket. I don't want to get drunk yet. So my strategy after, drinking with hobbits, my strategy is if I'm going to get drunk, it's going to be while drinking with hobbits. That's going to be the most drunk I'm going to be. Before that, not so much. So I'm like sipping a little bit. I don't think I even finished my drink. I ended up, I think, sharing it with others, after the show. But Andrew says, "Well, I didn't get a rum bucket." So my wife brings him a rum bucket. At which point he's standing on stage and slams it.
Slams it, please. It had a straw. I guzzled.
Fast. I was like, "Wow, Andrew."
Well, you were talking, giving a little speech, so I start drinking and just going, "Okay, still talking? Okay. Oh, we still talking? Okay." And I just went through, and next thing you know, it's gone.
I wasn't talking that long, man. I wasn't talking that long.
Hey, in rum bucket time, 10 seconds is a long time. It's an eternity in rum bucket time.
That's awesome.
Yeah. So, that was, Oh, see, that should have been my intro. How long is a Brobdingnagian minute?
Yeah, right. That would be priceless, yeah.
How long it takes to slam a rum bucket at Dragon Con.
Yeah, that would have been a good one.
Which for me, not that long.
No, apparently not. But the show overall went really well. I think, it was really cool. We've been doing our newest song, which is Love Song to Alcohol. It's a brand new song we wrote at ALEP last year.
And that's gone really well. I think we kind of hit our stride because everybody liked that. I mean, it went over really well, don't you think?
Yeah, definitely. People love singing it. They love shouting out their, one of the things when we were writing the song, we wanted to write it similar to Ducats, where we get audience participation, people suggesting types of alcohol that they love, for us to add into the song. And, because of that, I'm running up and down the aisle, getting some drinks. And of course here you get more sci-fi stuff, aside from the regular Jägermeister or something that people will shout out.
Romulan Ale is a popular.
Romulan Ale, Klingon blood wine. I think someone said, didn't they say what's that, the synthol, or what is it from Star Trek? Yeah.
Synthol.
So it was really cool. People, shouting, all of them, it just so much fun. I was really, happy with that. But yeah, we did that. I think we did that at each of our shows, all three of our shows together.
Yeah.
And, we also had, the people going, "You have CDs?" was through the roof this year.
Oh, it's not like you didn't milk it too much. Jesus, dude. You went crazy. You milked that, and it just, I was like, man, why are you fanning this flame? Why?
Lean into it.
Man, you should lean into it. You strapped on a parachute and jumped out of the plane to it.
Parachute? What parachute?
Well, I hoped.
Yeah, so they were people.
At a rum bucket, I was already flying.
Yeah, people were saying, you have CDs, but they're all saying you have musical pens. You have musical pens, USBs. You have opinions. We
had a new person selling CDs for us this year, Gypsy, and she. Gypsy, that's her name, Gypsy, and she was walking around during one of the days, and somebody came up to her and went, "You have CDs?" I'm not kidding, and she was just like, "What the hell, guys?"
It's a thing.
Yeah.
That has been just absolutely mind blowing. It's incredible.
Oh man. Yeah. That was wild. That was some wild stuff. And,
one of my highlights was the, how to write drinking songs, which was supposed to be more of a sort of panel, thing where I would just talk about it and such, but
very clever, because you turned that into a show, you sneaky bastard.
Yeah, I kind of forgot that what I was going to do there, and so about an hour before the show, I'm like, what am I going to do? We'll guide people on the how to write drinking songs process, and play little snippets here and occasional songs here, get people singing so they get examples, and it turned into a show, like you said.
Uh-huh.
And it was
I caught the end of it. I had an event. I had the panel after that, so I came in and I said, "Well, I'll check out what he's doing for this." So I came in early, and I think it was 20 minutes left in your panel, and I just came in and I was like, "What is he doing? A show? I thought he was doing a panel." So I walk in and I'm like, "He's just doing drinking songs. That bastard! That sneaky bastard! What the hell?"
It worked out.
He got an extra show out of this. Oh.
I did not expect that myself. I was just trying to find a good panel, but apparently this was a really good panel.
Oh no, that's actually really clever. I'm already starting to think about, okay, how can I create a panel idea that I can turn into a show and get around the get around how many shows I normally get.
Yeah. It was pretty fantastic.
But no, everybody was into it. They were really, that was, and from what I understand, you did go into a little bit about this is how a drinking song works at the beginning, right?
Yeah. I mean, it was literally, I started with, traditional Irish songs, and my journey, with, everything from Wild Rover, and then my mistakes, there's a couple songs, a song I did, one of my cat songs, which was based on the Moonshiner. And I was trying to, and I have this, when I started playing Irish drinking songs, I had this cassette, and it was called Irish Drinking Songs. I got it at half price books, and we learned most of those songs and started playing.
I remember that. Yeah.
But it was recorded live, and there were people shouting in the audience, back at the singers. They would shout some stuff. It was interactive. And things like, it reminded me, I don't think Seven Drunken Nights was on it, but it was like that, where people would say, "Hey, wife!" And there's apparently like a whole list of items with Seven Drunken Nights. Hey, wife, hey, what? And it goes on and on and on for as long as you want to make it go. But this back and forth stuff that the audience can add in. So I learned these things, and when I was writing that cat song, I did not know these things. So I'm trying to write some stuff that would get people to shout stuff, but I realized you have to teach it. If you can't teach it, then it's not going to make a good drinking song, a call and response drinking song. So, it might be easy to sing along to, but that doesn't fix all the problems.
Right.
So it's like going there. And then I went on to, my favorite current drinking song is our love song to alcohol, because it not only has a call and response, but it also has an interactive element. And the thing that I absolutely love about this new song, which eventually we'll get a recording and share. The thing I absolutely love about it is that it's just not typical. We have, it has a fairly typical chorus, but then you go into the verse, and it's like you have one little section that repeats, and then there's a regular section that doesn't repeat. It's just bizarre. It's just very different. And I love that about the song. So yeah, kudos to us.
Well, I mean, I don't want to pat my own back, but here.
Too late.
Oh, there you go. That's a nice pat there.
But that was definitely one of my favorites of the thing. That in our Saturday concert. The other thing about the Saturday concert too was the fact that the room is bigger. Was more full than it has been.
That's good crowd.
One of the things that Andrew and I have talked about, you and I have talked about quite a bit over the years, was the fact that the Brobdingnagian Bards were just a cover band of ourselves.
At this point, yeah.
Because we were playing just the same old songs that we started playing with, 20 years ago. And now we have some new songs that we're adding into the mix, which all of a sudden, this was like the first time I felt like we weren't a cover band of ourselves.
Oh, okay. Okay. I see that.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think also the timing and the room and everything was almost optimal for us. I think that helped a lot.
Yeah. So,
because I know one of the things you've gone through is, I think, having 2 daughters, and you don't stay up till 1 a.m. like you used to.
No way. Well, yeah.
I mean, usually not. So, I mean,
there are exceptions.
There are a few, but generally we try to, we're used to going earlier, and so we started doing our shows a bit earlier, and I think that's helped.
Yeah.
Because I think we've had that show. We've had it really late before, and we've had it earlier before. And I think when was ours? 8:30, I think.
Yeah, it was 8:30, I think.
And that was. I think that's about an ideal time. We should probably try to.
I still remember though. We would do 11 o'clock shows, in the heyday back in 2005, 2006, and we were packing out the Filk Room. And I wonder if something like that would work these days. I just don't know. They don't so, which is fine.
I mean, you get a few. I think we could, but it's not as much my preference.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I hear that.
Yeah, I think at this point, 8:30 is kind of walking that line about perfectly right now. Is my take on it. But I mean, if you wanted to do 10, I suppose we could. But
yeah, I'm okay with it. I mean, I felt like the audience was a good size, and it was
8:30. I think let's plan on that next year.
I have zero complaints with the way it went this year. It was so good. So yeah. Yeah,
there's a lot of good this year. I think a lot to build on. I mentioned earlier in the pre-show thing that I'm going to be teaching recorder, and I'm going to look at doing that next year at Dragon Con too.
Yeah,
doing a recorder class. I think that'll go over well.
All right. Well, we got lots to do with Dragon Con. I'm looking forward to it, but we're going to finish up with one final thing, which is to talk about Jedi Drinking Song, the song that we went to let you know a little bit about. This is the song was originally recorded for our album Brobdingnagian Fairy Tales, but it's a bit older than that. And I thought what we'd do is we'd share our thoughts and memories and favorite moments of over the years to try to explain the story behind Jedi Drinking Song.
Well, I mean, for me, it kind of starts with you because you're the one that found the song.
Yes.
It was the Dust Rhinos, right?
Yeah, good job. So the song was written by John Ryan. I think he used to be with the Dust Rhinos, which is a Celtic rock band out of Canada. And I found them on mp3.com. I was, constantly surfing mp3.com. It was sometimes called Jedi Drinking Test, which I
didn't know that.
Yeah, the original version I think was a Jedi Drinking Test. And I don't know I feel like that there was a second version of it that was posted maybe for a compilation or something, and they had renamed it Jedi Drinking Song, and that's the one what I ended up using. But originally it was Jedi Drinking Test, as you find out in the last verse of the song.
Okay.
But
at this point, we were like, we were playing conventions at that point, starting to do that. And
I think this is like, when did we get it? Was it 2003 or 2004?
Yeah, it was around that time. I mean, it was about that transition because we were still doing well on mp3.com, and so the timing kind of makes sense.
Yeah,
and we just started doing conventions,
which was in 2002.
And I think that's we were saying we need more songs for conventions was kind of where I think where our brains were, and you just kind of said, "I've got one right here," and that's how I remember it. You just whipped that sucker out, and it was. Yeah, just a really a fun song. And at first, I'm gonna be honest here. At first, I was a little skeptical.
Yeah,
because the Dust Rhinos version is a little different than ours.
Yeah, it is. It is.
And then I was kind of I don't know. I don't know if this is a good song. I mean, and I thought about. We could play this at conventions, but could we get away with this at fairs? I don't know. And we kind of, I think we reworked the arrangement and made it, made it something that could work.
Kind of universal.
Yeah.
So, okay, we're going to play the song in a little bit, but when we close up the show. But one of the things that I think that struck, Andrew's talked about the differences, and we added quite a bit. I think for starters, you added the mandolin intro,
right?
Playing what is it? The Luke theme? Is that what is that? Is that? Is there? I
forget what it's called. It's just one of the themes from Star Wars. It's
and at some point, I don't know why. Wait, even before that though, I think one of the things we started doing was when we started playing Renaissance Festival. Speaking of which, we would start by saying, "And here's a drinking song from long ago in the Celtic Renaissance," which of course we use as an excuse for playing at Renaissance festivals. But yeah, you did the intro, and that somewhere in there I added Darth Vader breathing,
right.
Which was always fun. I would sometimes have my mug, my Renaissance Festival mug, and I'd put it there and I'd hold it up and on the side and breathe into it. And then you added the Luke, you just kissed your sister, which is just brilliant. I always love that line. That's the one. I sometimes play Jedi Drinking Song, but the thing that I never get to do is I just can't pull that off in the same fashion. Yeah.
I liked it when you had the long hair and you'd fling it over your face and do your Wookiee impression.
Right.
To me, you look more like Cousin It, but that worked.
Who cares? It was awesome. Now my hair's growing out, and I'm like, oh, this is great. The only problem is that a lot of times I do the headset, and trying to flip my hair while wearing a headset, not good. It's gonna fall off.
Yeah, you got to work on that. You got to figure out the headset scenario that doesn't interfere with the hair. I don't know. And allows easy flipping.
Right, exactly. So I got to work on that part.
You should do an instructional video. The hair flip with ease headset setup. The instructional video. Doom 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 doom. Have you ever had the problem where you just go?
That's awesome.
Turn into a 1950s how-to video.
The other thing that I love about this, again, this goes back to the live show, is the choreography line you make.
Oh, right.
What is it? They take off into space or something.
Right.
We both move to our left. A little. I don't know.
Stand on one foot and kind of look like we're taking off, kind of thing.
How did that get started? Do you know?
Gosh, I mean, the choreography line came a little later. The initial flew off into space. It was just one of those things that I think we just did once. I don't remember an actual conversation because a lot of this stuff we were just on stage and we just went with it.
Yeah.
And it was funny and we kept it. And there was stuff we tried that we didn't keep. I mean, like that's true with any song. I mean, you try something and you're like, yeah, that didn't quite work. But yeah, I mean, it was just, I really still firmly believe one of the reasons why what we do works is because we're just on stage having a fun time, goofing off, and people get to watch us do it.
Yeah.
And that's it. So, yeah. As long as we're having fun, people will have fun with us. Yeah. And so that's how a lot of that came about. We're not just, we were never stuck with, we're just going to do a script and follow it.
Yeah.
Like we talked about a little bit earlier in the pre-show, I mean, everything evolves. I mean, you've got to keep adapting and doing different things. Yeah. So anytime one of us would come up with anything new, we'd mess with it. We'd constantly try to break the other one on stage if we could. That was just a bonus.
Yeah. Exactly.
But no, yeah. But that's how that came about. I mean, it was just one of those things we tried. I don't remember an actual, hey, maybe we should try something like that. I think one of us just kind of did it on stage once, and I'm not quite sure who, and the other one just followed suit.
Feel like I might have been the one who did that, but I don't No, I don't remember.
One of us did it once, and then the other person went like, "Oh, that's a good idea," and went with it, and then we both did it, and it became a thing.
Maybe, yeah, and that it could go anyway. Who knows? No.
Yeah. Yeah, and honestly, I want to agree with you. I want to say that you did the motion first, and I joined in, and then I added the choreography line.
Right, and yet I still don't know if that's accurate. I mean, there's a very slim possibility. I think you think that's more likely, but there's a slim possibility that you might have done a little thing and I followed, but I don't remember. So, but I still love it. It still makes me happy because, I mean, we don't do choreography except for that.
That's why the joke works.
Sure enough.
Because it's so like, choreography, this is rare. Pay attention, take a picture. I mean, yeah.
So I love it that some fans have made a video of it that you can find on YouTube with little clips, from the show, which is just fantastic. I love also that at the end of the song, you have the Andrew's, recorder, returning to the theme, that Jedi theme from the, and you go into that, and then I do the Force shall be with you always. I don't know about you, but I don't think of the movie when I do that.
Really?
No, I think of the video game, the arcade game.
Really?
Every time I do it, my brain goes to the arcade game. I'm like, this is the Force should be with, because it always ended with that, and I was like, oh.
Wow, no, I'm. That's interesting. I always went straight with the with the
movie.
Oh gosh, with the X-wing run at the end of the movie where he hears Obi-Wan in his head, and he's not sure if it's through the speakers or not.
No, it's totally from the game, which obviously refers to that. It might be the same quote from that, but nevertheless, that was the reason I do it.
So this is the arcade game with the vector graphics one.
Yep, that's the one.
Oh wow, yeah, wow, the old school. Wow.
Yeah, I know. Every time my brain goes straight to the Force should be with you, straight from that video game. It's amazing.
Yeah, that's I need to. We saw some of our friends from Dragon Con, John and April.
Oh yeah.
One of the things John does is he restores old video game cabinets.
Yeah.
He's got one of those arcade games with the Star Wars.
Oh man, that'd be fun. So
when I go down to Louisiana, I may have to head over and say, "Hey, I'm going to go visit and play video games." Because that's they're always a hoot and hilarious. But yeah, they have a ridiculous warehouse full of video games.
Yeah, very cool. And the final thing that I can think of with this song in particular, well, not the final thing, but one of the final things is is that again when you get to finish that section. Frequently we change it up and you start doing another medley of tunes, which is not a traditional Irish medley. So I love that we get to do that. Sometimes a little bit of dancing, sometimes a little bit of orchestration and directing. Mm-hmm. Always a fun time. I
usually try to finish it off with the 20th Century Fox theme too. Yep. And I see, when I was a kid, I always thought that was part of the Star Wars soundtrack.
Yeah.
Because it just goes so well. I mean, it starts off with that and then goes straight into Star Wars, and but the key works, it flows perfectly. I mean, it so well, you got to think John Williams knew what he was doing.
Right.
But it was, I'd see it used in 20th Century Fox and other films, and I'd be like, oh, wow, they just stole that for these other films. That's great.
Yeah.
Because I just associated with Star Wars so much, so iconic. So for me, it's part of the theme.
Yeah.
Always bizarre, which with Disney now owning it, it's so strange.
Yeah.
But yeah, no. I mean that's just a very. It's an interesting song, a fun one. Very different. I think it was very different than the other stuff we did. for the most part, especially back then.
Particularly on Brobdingnagian Fairy Tales, you know, it's very different from, I think, a lot of the other songs on Brobdingnagian Fairy Tales. It's called Fairy Tales for a reason. Because it was very left of center, you know, to just bring that out and during a show, and that always is good. I mean, there's so many groups suffer from that problem of one song sounds like the other, which sounds like the other, and they're all kind of the same in many ways. I mean, you have, this is their fast song, this is their ballad, this is their fast song, this is their ballad. It all sounds the same. But we do have several songs that are just way out there that are different, and I think that has helped a lot. And this is definitely one of the prime examples of that. The only other thing I wanted to share about this is that because of this song, we, for whatever reason, because we were having so much success with it, we ended up writing more Jedi Drinking Songs, which I'm very happy with as well. You know, we came up with which we'll probably talk another time, the Jedi Drinking Song prequel, aka, what was the name you came up with it? Revenge of the Bards.
Oh, right. Yeah.
The Last Jedi Drinking Song and Jedi McKee. So a lot of fun stuff. So let's play the song and then we'll close up this podcast. How about? All right.
Let's do it.
Sister. I had one pint of beer and one shot of scotch, one bottle of wine and a bourbon on the rocks. I had one nice on me right, another on me left. I looked that puppet in the eye and said, give me the test. Long time ago in a pub far away, I sat on a bar stool just a drinking away. I couldn't hold it down, I guess I had too much. I felt a tremor in the force and then I lost my lunch. Woke up in desert land, feeling hot and sick. I saw a beard and man, he looked like some kind of hick.
Just like Mark.
He slowly waved his hand and my pain was gone. He said, let's go see Yoda and I'll teach you the song. I had one pint of beer and one shot of scotch, one bottle of wine and a bourbon on the rocks. I had one nice on me right, another on me left. I looked that puppet in the eye and said, give me the test. We got a starship and we flew off into space. He said his name was Obi-Wan, there was no time to waste. I have to get your train before it's too late. So drink this bottle of whiskey and don't give in to hate. Train went on and I drank most of the bar. We had to stop all force flies in the nearest Death Star. I knew to control my fear and hold my alcohol. Soon I was able to stand when Obi-Wan would fall. I had one pint of beer and one shot of scotch, one bottle of wine and a bourbon on the rocks. I had one that's on me right, another on me left. I looked that puppet in the eye and said, give me the test. It up, fuzzball.
These aren't the bards you were looking for.
Sat outside him and I looked him in the eye. He looked right back at me and said, try to be by my size. Obi-Wan said, careful, for Yoda is the best. Said, okay, shorty, bring on that test. Well, I can tell you how it ended, I can tell you some lies. But let's just say that on that night, the force was on his side. I got riled up, they threw me in jail. I said, I don't believe it, Yoda said that's why I failed. I had one pint of beer and one shot of scotch, one bottle of wine and a bourbon on the rocks. I had one that's on me right, another on me left. I looked that puppet in the eye and said, give me the test. I had one pint of beer and one shot of scotch, one bottle of wine and a bourbon on the rocks. I had one that's on me right, another on me left. I looked that puppet in the eye and said, give me the test. Well, I looked that muppet in the eye and said, give me the test. Well, I looked that little runt right in the eye The Force should be with you, always.
All right. Well, I hope you enjoyed this episode of the podcast. Again, if you enjoy our music, please support us. Go join us on Patreon. Our individual pages are available. I know there's 2 of them, so you can take your pick, or you can do both, and then you can add, $50 on top of that. Whatever you like, support the music. Again, don't forget to get a copy of our "May the Bards Be With You" musical pen, and we can't wait to see you again next time. Sláinte.
The Brobdingnagian Bards podcast was produced by Marc Gunn and Andrew McKee. Sign up to our mailing list to download free MP3s and get monthly updates of what's new. Find it all at thebards.net.
Seriously, dude. Seriously.
Hey, you told me to do a thing. I just went, what?